You getting a call?
Oh no, it's my manager. Just ignore that shit. Now for a real man's intro. I think Captain Marvel's gonna fail because she's a girl and they're forcing feminism into my comic book movies, and I canceled my ticket pre-order and I'm not gonna see this movie because Disney has clearly made it obvious that they hate me.
It's funny, the more he talks, you can actually see his neck beard growing out more and more as he says this. He just... the rest of the hair falls out as the neck beard grows.
That's the
only thing you missed on that was it shouldn't have been canceling your pre-order. It should have been like a video of you like ripping up your tickets to it.
Now they're getting smart, though.
I'm going to burn all of my Nike clothes.
In protest of Captain Marvel.
Anyways... Hello, everyone. You're listening to Nerdly Kingdom. I forgot what podcast I was on from there for a second.
It's been so long.
It has been. You're not anywhere near your mic.
Shit.
William's going to set up his mic at the table and then go lay on the couch and scream at it.
I'm going to get him a lapel mic so he can just like stick. Anyways, William's here, Lori's here, and I think we decided this episode is going to be about Captain Marvel. Not we've seen it, but before. But by the time this comes out, Captain Marvel might be showing. When does Captain Marvel come out? Is it
tomorrow?
Well, fuck.
So Captain Marvel will be out. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend we already saw it.
I have no idea. Haven't seen it.
I dreamed about Captain Marvel last night, and here's what I think happens. Whatever.
But, I don't know. I guess we're going to talk about Captain Marvel and its so-called controversy, if it can so be called.
We want to add the newsy stuff to this episode
with quotation marks.
Controversy. Also with Battle Angel Alita, because I actually saw it, and that kind of ties into the controversy because people think they're smart when they aren't. But that's another. Anyway,
no one protests better than men.
The controversy supposedly is supposed to be Brie Larson is too feministy, therefore the movie's going to be too feministy because she said so. And so people are like, I don't want feministes in my movies, so I'm going to go see, instead of watching this movie about a strong female character, I'm going to go see Battle Alita, that movie about a strong female character. And
but isn't she like a robot?
Well, that's the thing. You could argue, one, I see their point. That was always supposed to be a female, even though Captain Marvel was also a female, just not always. Like that. It's not real. It's not a real issue. They're making it an issue because they can. But she's also kind of creepy. If you're like, oh yeah, this movie is way better representation. I was like, it's a movie about a girl that looks younger than she actually is with the big eyes, and like she's got the weirdly shaped body. Yeah, it's. I don't know if I think it's kind of weird.
Sexualized in any way?
When she gets her full body, they explain it by it matching her subconscious image, and it's like, oh, she's older than you thought she was, but what it is, she just gets curvier when her new robot body gets curvier because it matches what she thinks she's supposed to look like.
Bros are just pissed that they went with the
better than
blue Captain Marvel suit instead of the skimpy Warbird suit. So
I'm gonna look up. I don't know what the Warbird suit is.
I think it's Warbird is what her.
I don't know if that one artist that drew Spider-Woman can teach us anything, that it does not matter how revealing the suit is, you can still make it weird.
God, that picture is so disturbing because all I could think is it's like latex suits don't do that.
Well, she actually is moving like a spider would. That's not. It was terrifying. Yeah. That's not.
Oh yeah,
that's actually not that bad of a costume.
That's a cute costume.
Not, but
legs are in right now. I guess. I don't know what I'm saying.
But
going back to what you said about Brie Larson being feminist and whatnot, I find it really irritating that she is very outspokenly feminist and outspokenly political. But so is Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo and Don Cheadle.
Exactly.
But it's never been a problem, but now it's a problem because it's a woman.
I think she's going about it a bit of the wrong way is the reason for it.
The thing is it's like... It's something ingrained in our minds. Is she going about it the wrong way? She's very unapologetic.
I have one reason why she's going about it the wrong way. Instead of saying other people's opinions are valid. She's intentionally going about your opinion isn't valid because you're not letting other people have their opinion. Well, she's pushing it one step too far. And I'm not saying about the whole, because she's the other people interviewing her. That's fine. I get that. But then she's like, your opinion, like she defends A Wrinkle in Time so hard. It's like, and she says, your opinion doesn't matter.
Well, what I've seen is it wasn't necessarily that she said your opinion didn't matter.
Yes.
She called out the fact that the movie was ripped apart by a bunch of movie critics, and the movie critics are usually old white men.
Yes.
And she said the movie wasn't made for you.
But, and my argument for that is like, yes, that movie represents people of color. However, it's still a bad movie, and so that's a bad example. A bad movie representing people of color is representing people of color badly. So I feel like
really represent people of color badly.
Well, yes, but that's not like, why is she defending that movie in particular? Like, there's so many other movies she could have picked that are like, hey, look at this movie. And it's like, my issue is she should have picked the movie that was actually good, and people are picking it apart for no reason, because then they truly are picking it apart for no reason.
Because it's like all she has to do is wait one more day, and the Dude Bros will be doing that to her movie.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's what she's doing. I just feel like A Wrinkle in Time was a weird place to make a stand, because like, regardless of what your skin color is, everyone's like, no, that movie was bad. Like that movie was disappointing in all aspects, and it represents no one.
I think the movie was disappointing, and it's not one that I've actively like wanted to buy or watch again.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was like this absolutely terrible movie.
Yeah.
It was a bit slow paced, especially for something geared towards younger kids, but it wasn't a terrible movie.
But my point is like, I feel like she's to pick that movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're picking apart this movie because it's like, no, that's not why. Like, they're active, like some may be, but there's so many more that are picking apart that movie for so many valid reasons. It was a weird place to decide on that movie.
I wonder if there's more to it.
There very well might be that I don't know. So, but
it's
again,
like, I
feel like if it hadn't been for that one instance, it probably wouldn't have blown up to the point that it's got. Like, if she had picked a movie that wasn't so universally disliked by everyone, it might not have been a huge deal. But then people made a big deal about her saying, you know, she didn't say, I don't want white men. Well, she did kind of say, I don't want white men interviewing me. But what she was going for is like, I want a variety of people interviewing me. And that's fine.
Well, and it's one of those things, it's like,
I feel like she could have explained it better.
But, you know, it's like if Mark Ruffalo had said something similar, it wouldn't have fell on him half as bad.
That's true. I agree.
Mark Ruffalo is very outspoken.
You're absolutely right.
And people worship it and love him. I love him to death.
The issue she's having, I think, is that she should have chosen her words better, not because she chose her words wrong, but because the way she chose to say them were so easily taken out of context. And that's not her fault, but when you're doing something like this, you got to be a little careful of that. See,
I feel if I was a celebrity, I'd end up in the same boat as her.
Probably. I'd
100%. I might end up in a worse boat than
I should rephrase.
So.
I say I wish. I wish she had reworded it differently. That's my thing. I really wish she had reworded it differently so they couldn't use it out of context like they are. Because her real issue is it wasn't only that she couldn't. It wasn't that only white men were interviewing her. It was that only white men could interview her. Like, she actively tried to go to other people, and the places didn't offer anything else, and they all had random excuses. So it's a huge, completely valid issue that people taken out of context because they're choosing to pick one word, one sentence out of what she said that may have been worded differently. I don't know. And
I think another thing is especially white dudes, they may notice, they may not, but a majority of stuff is still deeply run by white dudes. So when a woman does say, Oscars, you know, everything. And so when a woman says, it's like, hey, can I not talk to a white dude? It's not trying to exclude it is, but you know, you get what I'm saying.
It's trying to exclude to include more.
It's like, look, I'm a female actress with a female-led movie in Marvel.
Yeah,
I would like to be interviewed by someone who's not led the way the entire time.
Yeah, that's the thing you're saying. Like, what if a man said they didn't want a woman interviewing them?
It's a
It was
different
like,
context.
That would have been completely different context. And like, if he had only been interviewed by white women 99% of the time, then
it'd be valid.
Then it would be valid. That's the point.
I think it just goes back to, again, like, I feel like white men always usually ask
Us as
really
white men saying these things.
uncomfortable questions
To women?
Yeah, because you go back to like that
What
one
is that
interview
about?
where that one guy asked ScarJo if she wore underwear under her Black Widow costume.
What kind of question is
that?
that?
You go back to Les Mis, and they interviewed Anne Hathaway, and they asked her what diet she had, and she says, my character was supposed to be deeply like undernourished and unhealthy. She goes, I don't want people to have the body type I had in that
We
movie.
can go back farther than that. This is so much of an issue that this was parodied by Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. It really
yeah.
was.
Every
Because
time I
they
get
asked
interviewed, they ask me about my boobs and how they fit in my suit. Like, it's that big of an issue. It's been around that long.
Like, yeah, when you're in a female-led movie, you don't want to talk about things like that. You'd like to
Yeah.
talk about what the tone of the movie, what message you're trying to
You know
get
what
across.
white guy I do want interviewing these people? Sean Evans. Have you watched Hot Ones?
Oh, I would
He's-
love Brie Larson on Hot
Because
Ones.
he asks the best questions I have ever seen.
He does his research.
He does.
And I think that's
the
big
huge difference. Is that I think it's
more white interviewers did that for female-led characters, because with male characters, that's not a problem. With male actors,
almost
they're
wanna-
going to ask in-depth stuff.
I almost wonder if it's not even granted. I'm just going on a limb here. I wonder how much of it is that the actual white male interviewers and how much of it is the white run company telling the white male interviewers what to say.
And who's running those white-run companies?
Exactly.
White males.
That's exactly my point. And
Ask her about her boobs.
we want to know about the titties.
it really is the problem. It's not. It's the whole thing. It's the people
He's got
interviewing her.
Dorito
It's the
stains on his
company,
fingers
and
since he was
it's the
18.
audience that actually will actively eat up those stupid kinds of questions. Because like, I just watched the Hot Ones with I could never remember his name. The Asian comedian that's also a doctor.
Kim Jong.
Yes, because like he has the same reaction that almost everyone that goes on Hot Ones have. Like Sean will ask a question, he's just like, "Thank you for asking that question. That is a fantastic question." It's like I want more interviews like that where they're not necessarily crying because of the hot wings.
More hot wings.
Dude, Hot Ones is a great place to learn shit you just never knew about someone, because he will ask the craziest questions. You have no idea about that person.
And there is no difference in his interviews from males to females. It's the same in-depth questions, and I can respect that.
Heck,
Shout out to you, Sean Evans.
from Hot Ones, I learned that Tyra Banks is actually really cool.
She is cool.
Like, I had no idea. I became a fan.
But I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Well, one thing is that because of all this, they're like, Captain Marvel's gonna be a really feminist movie, and I was like, I haven't.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't seen anything that's gonna be like an actively feminist movie other than a movie that's not anti-feminist.
Well, and the thing is
Because that's what people are getting. Like, just because it's got a strong female lead doesn't make it a feminist movie. It just makes it a not feminist movie.
Well-
or no, wait, not having it would be a not. I confused myself.
I cannot not. But no, I think one of the big things is the normal, like what is said as normal is a movie led by a white male with either a sidekick who is a non-white male
Yeah.
or a sidekick who's female. And so anytime that you shift that and you have anyone who's not a white male as a lead, all of a sudden people say, like, especially like straight white dudes are like, why are they making a political movie? They're not. They're just
Yeah, that's exactly my
making
point. That's
another
exactly
lead.
my point.
Like,
You should see Aquaman, because
I need to see
I would argue that Aquaman, Mira is just as much, if not more, of the main character as Aquaman in that movie. It's
Yeah.
why I really, really like that movie. I don't think I've ever seen a superhero movie that had two main characters, not a main character or a main character and a sidekick.
yeah.
It was just really good because just like the comic, she's way stronger than Aquaman is. But not as... She's also way smarter, but not as wise. Or the other way around. I'm not sure. Aquaman got the street smarts because he's an orphan. Because that's how orphans work, I guess.
It's a hard knock life for us.
I would totally watch an Aquaman montage with like he's just blowing he's getting beat up and blowing shit up while that song's playing. I'd do that. But
that'd be awesome.
It's like,
I was gonna so in one of her interviews, they were talking, there is a scene in the movie where apparently somebody tells Carol Danvers to smile more. And the interviewer was like, is that any sort of like mirror to on Twitter when the promo stuff came out? And she goes, well, the movie was made before that happened. And I'm like, what a stupid question. And then he's like, oh, and she goes, and he said something else, and she goes, no, that just reflects what every female has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's why she doesn't want to interview with white dudes, because they don't understand.
You know, there's the dude version of that. It's you need to keep your hair cut more. It's not nearly as bad, but it's pretty close. I mean, I can't say, but
on the flip side, it's like girls get that too with you look so much better with long hair.
That's true. They've got it the other way too. So
stop all these gender norms. I want to wear a skirt.
Klaus does. Why not?
Very brief. Yeah, you can just say it's a kilt. Can I do that? Can I try that work? I'm tempted.
I legit follow.
I
could probably get away with wearing a kilt at work.
I already don't get raises at work because I've pissed off management. I should stop. Yeah. But anyways, what I was going to say is, like, I hope this movie, I have no problem with a movie that's with political undertones. I don't want it to be super preachy. I also don't have a problem with movies being super preachy. I have a problem with Marvel movies being super preachy because there's just not time. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily the message. It's just not, especially with Captain Marvel.
Done a really good job of having like a good political like overtone. Political tone. And
what worries me, because this movie has to be a prequel that sets up a sequel
in the 90s,
and also it's the middle movie in between the two Infinity War movies, and it's the movie that's supposed to set up Phase 4. There's so much this movie has to do. I was like, please focus on these things first and then worry about the message, because this one movie can mess up an entire generation of new movies.
Yeah, well, and it's scary too, because they decided all that pressure's lying on their first female-led movie, which is a big expectation in itself.
I know, because the only thing we have to base our female Marvel leads on are the insane amount of butt shots of Scarlett Johansson when she's wearing the leather suit.
Thanks, Whedon.
I mean, there's just so many of those to the point where I'm just like,
it's like, we get it. She's got a nice butt. Let's
I love there's that one scene where she's talking to Loki, and Loki is center frame, and then the rest of the frame, he's like super tiny in the distance, and the rest of the frame is just butt. I'm like, wow.
That really shows like a level of maturity that you get between the Russos.
My thing is, like, what is it? Iron Man 2, not the best movie in the world, but like Scarlett Johansson in Iron Man 2 might be the best Scarlett Johansson there was, because
that was not Scarlett Johansson. By Jon Favreau.
I loved that Black Widow, because she was a spy that acted like a spy that beat people up in cool ways, and then the next movie she was in was just like her complaining with butt shots.
It's like, I feel the Russos
butt shot sounds weird.
Pulling that back. Whedon turned her into some sort of.
I got no problem with the occasional butt shot, because they do the same thing with the guys. Although I find it weird they wouldn't. That one scene with Captain America.
Why are you showing so much ScarJo when Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.'s bubble butts are on screen all the time?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's with the cast that has like one female to all the males. The fact that it's still more female is the problem. Like, we need equal distribution of butts.
That's why I like Justice League so much.
The one helicopter butt shot.
The butt shot.
Because it's like, she jumps off first, doesn't she, or something like that, and they're like, oh, and then they all jump off, and it's like, equal butt shots.
There's a whole conversation. I have no idea how true it is, but Chris Evans complains that one scene where he's like holding on to the helicopter when Bucky's in it, holding on to the thing. He wanted to be shirtless, and they wouldn't let him do it. It's like, that's so Chris Evans. Like, I love in Captain America.
And the
What's
only
your face?
the only reason they didn't have it shirtless is because they could not find a plausible reason for him to not have a shirt in that scene.
That's fair. You don't want to reenact Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if you know anything about that, but in the first Kingdom Hearts, this is one scene where they forgot to put Mickey Mouse's shirt on. Because it was before they had his costume set.
Yeah.
And so in the new Kingdom Hearts, for no reason, when you're seeing a background scene, for some random reason, he gets attacked for no reason. And then in the attack, his shirt just disintegrates. That way it'll match up to the old thing. I was like, that wasn't necessary. You could have just retconned him wearing a shirt. Like, you didn't have to make a 10-minute movie just to say, this is why you didn't have a shirt back then,
they
guys.
had to fix the continuity error.
Yeah, that's the place. That's the continuity error. Oh, fuck me. That's the thing that Kingdom Hearts needed to fix in the timeline. When I get angry, words get hard.
What is speech?
But yeah, real quick before we go into Battle Angel Alita and why people are watching it instead of Captain Marvel, I wanted to talk about the Marvel thing because people are like, oh, I've got superhero fatigue, which is the thing I actually haven't really experienced since Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if that was superhero fatigue. I did kind of get it, but the movies are still just so good. And I think Thor Ragnarok kind of pointed out that these movies don't have to be the same. And so
they don't have to be serious.
Yeah, Venom proved that too.
Oh, Venom!
And the new Doctor Strange is supposed to be like a...
Sorry.
The new Doctor Strange is supposed to be
entered my body.
Horror movie.
So much pleasure in that.
I love that movie.
I'm very disturbed about what happened. Do you have a symbiote? Like, that was a bit weird.
Lori does have a symbiote.
I do, and that symbiote's just
and it's
like,
in love with Venom.
It's just coffee. But the new Doctor Strange is supposed to be like horror movie-esque, isn't it? Because the new Doctor Strange is supposed to be like a horror movie kind of thing, which I love. I think we need to try to experiment in different genres. I'm not going to say it's going to work, and I know that one wrong movie that everyone's going to hate is going to make everyone go, oh, the Marvel movies are dead, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, we made it through Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but...
We made it through Thor 2.
Yeah, but...
That hurt me to say because I don't hate that movie. Everyone else does.
I don't either. Like, when you compare Thor 2 to the other movies at that time that were already out, it's fine.
It's a fine
movie. But now,
movie.
like, in hindsight, when you have all these other better movies from Phase 3 to compare it to...
I know, I've always hated Thor 2.
I like Loki's characterization in Thor 2. But I've talked about that before.
Okay, yes, I will say that is the only part about Loki, everything in that movie.
Until Ragnarok, Thor 2 had the best version of Loki because it was finally a joking trickster who was also hurt and damaged.
Depends on your definition of best.
We love a damaged boy in this house.
Thor 2 best.
Some of us don't. Some of us are tired of them.
Thor 2 had the best story arc for Loki. Like, I will never like the scene where he's in his thing, just like, oh, my mother's dead, whatever, and Thor's like, drop the act, and it cuts, and he's like, best scene in any Marvel movie, and like that was the only good part about that whole fucking movie.
I have damaged boy character fatigue.
That's fine.
Yeah, but Loki, it's done well because
Loki's is done well
because you've seen him go through all the arcs of wanting more to getting more to him not being able to handle more and to him facing the consequences of what he's done, because he basically did kill his mother and him facing the consequences of that. But anyways, I could go into more Loki. Let's not. What was it? I was watching something.
Sentence.
Because I was reading something and it was this gif of someone skydiving and they were in a green jumpsuit and the top comment was, "I've been falling for 30 minutes." I was like, damn, it's everywhere. But okay, people are going to see, or well, let's say it this way, people are boycotting Captain Marvel when it's not even out yet by going to see Battle Angel Alita instead.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
that's gonna have anything to do with Captain Marvel's box office.
I know.
Numbers.
Well, and not to mention, it's like, oh, we're mad at this strong female character, so we're gonna go support another strong female character.
It just goes
so
back
another
to
female-led movie is also gonna get a lot of money.
Guys,
so more
doing
female-led
protests.
movies will get made.
Guys have like the stupidest fucking protests.
it's because they're protesting the stupidest fucking
That's
thing.
the thing. Like every time a group of guys protest something, I just roll my eyes at it because it's so dumb.
And we can almost narrow this down. Like, nerdy white boy protests are some of the dumbest protests. Like their
not even
GoFundMe
just
to remake
nerdy,
The Last Jedi.
I don't understand.
Like gatekeeping fanboys.
What is it with
dumb.
male fanboys that gatekeep so fucking weird? Like, oh man, there are not enough girls that play this game. And the moment a girl walks in, it's like, you're not a real gamer. It's like, what do you want? I don't understand. Are you threatened?
And it's like, oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Yes.
So dumb.
Oh gosh, let's not even get into that. I mean, I follow like our gatekeeping on Reddit, and so much of it is just gaming shit. So you're not a real gamer. Actually, I did post something like that today in the thing. I don't know if you saw that, because Alicia was playing people on Pokemon.
Yeah.
And to get an edge in Pokemon, instead of using a team that's well balanced and whatever, they'll just load up full of legendaries, which are objectively stronger than everything else, and Alicia still beats him to the ground.
Jesus.
I'm like, you're not a real Pokemon master if you have to use a legendary. Clap emoji in between each word. I don't know. I don't see the point in going to see Battle Angel Alita instead of Captain Marvel. I guess you can do that. I'm going to see
not both?
I saw Battle Alita twice. Man, words today. This is going to be and since we're recording all our podcasts in this one day, this is going to be rough.
This is going to be great.
Everyone pray for Brad.
Thoughts and prayers.
Battle Angel Lolita.
So, continuation.
I don't even know if Brad heard me.
I didn't. What?
That'd be a hell of a story.
And I went, Battle Angel Lolita.
I mean, kinda. I mean, yeah. You gotta eat candies right now.
Can I have the blue one? Can I have a blue one? Can I have a pink one too?
Yes.
I can't reach over there. I have a mic. This podcast is brought to you by Skittles.
No, it's
when
not.
you ask for 2, steal 3.
But Battle Angel Alita, it is kind of like that because she's wearing the body of what's supposed to be like a 13-year-old because it's supposed to be his daughter. Like, it makes sense in context. And the whole thing with the big eyes, I think that was done to sort of circumvent what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out
Bumpy
here.
roads.
Yeah, the thing. Oh gosh, where they look too real.
Hyper realistic?
No, I'm having a bad
Uncanny
day.
Valley?
Uncanny Valley. That's what I'm trying. That was Uncanny Valley. That was the valley.
Bumpy hills.
It was to circumvent the Uncanny Valley, and it kind of worked because she never looked too real because of that. But it also, when she's the only one that's got the weird big eyes, it makes her look even younger, and she's like wearing like a 13-year-old body, and she looks like she's 9. It's really weird. Because I don't think it's what they were trying to do, but it's what happened.
No, this is weeb shit. That shit happens all the time.
Doe eyes.
That being said, regardless of whether you're
The
gonna
big eyes was a cool idea, though.
I can't sexualize Brie Larson, so I'm gonna sexualize this lady robot.
Yeah, well, regardless.
It's the closest some of them will ever get.
Yeet.
Yikes. Regardless, if you're gonna boycott Captain Marvel to see Battle Angel Alita,
Boycott Captain Marvel, just don't go to the fucking movies. I mean,
Battle Angel Alita was actually a genuinely good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I saw it twice. Granted, I saw it once on my own and then once with Alicia. Stop just finding random stuff. Pay attention to what we're talking about. Battle Angel Alita had a lot of world building to set up. So there are some instances where it's like, well, that escalated quickly, but that's always going to happen for like the Harry Potter movies.
I feel sometimes that can be well done though. Like it gives a nice factor.
Well, kind of. But there's this one point where one character is supposed to be like all weird and mysterious, and then the very next scene he's revealed to be the bad guy, and you're just like, yeah, I know. Like, the way you did that last scene was really obvious. That wasn't a hint. You were telling us. It was like, it was so quick. They even do that whole slow motion, like him taking off the mask and the dramatic music. You're like, no, dude, I got it from the last scene.
In his defense, that's how I take off mask.
It's
always slow and dramatic, and there's music playing in the background.
They had so much to set up. But that being said,
that's because you're lame.
Beautiful.
Watching.
You're beautiful.
I'm bad with actors' names. Help me out here.
Who?
The dentist from Django.
I haven't seen that.
Yes. him walking around with a giant fucking pickaxe that's rocket powered so he can break giant cyborgs was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool.
Interesting.
And the fight scenes were great. The story was great. The characters were mostly pretty good. I would actually highly recommend that movie. I'd say at least a 7 out of 10. Like, it had some issues that I think were always going to be there because of any kind of book to movie is going to, especially graphic novel or comic to movie, is going to be even harder. But I think they did it really well. Especially, granted, the more I think about it, the more it's kind of cliched, but that's fine. You kind of have to. They did that whole cliche of main character has amnesia, so you learn things when she does. But, I mean, that's not a horrible...
That's a fun little trope, though.
Yeah, it's just like one of the first tropes I was ever exposed to, so I'm very, very aware of it. Final Fantasy X, that's how the whole thing's played out, is that... Except it turns out he doesn't have amnesia. He just doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
I was about to say he doesn't have amnesia. He's just stupid. And then you literally said that.
Yeah, I mean, basically. He's from a parallel dimension, kind of, sort of, not really.
He's from a parallelogram.
But I really like that movie. I don't want to spoil too much. There's really not a whole lot to spoil. It's a pretty straightforward movie. It's just a really fun movie to watch. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's definitely a good movie, and it's a movie I would recommend seeing. And it's a movie that's really fun to see in theaters. You know, even though that's becoming an outdated format, so they... I
don't know, though, because it's like theaters are just fun. They're big, they're loud, the screen's huge.
Well, tell that to Steven Spielberg.
You know, well, Steven Spielberg...
We'll talk about that later.
Steven Spielberg made
loves the
Ready
theater.
Player One, so he doesn't get to talk.
Immediately after
Name one good movie Steven Spielberg's made in the last 20 years.
Steven Spielberg made Ready Player One immediately after saying games can't be art. So
yeah,
fuck that.
Well, you know, whenever you can make money off of an 80s wank bank, then...
Wank bank? I've never heard that. That's terrible. I never said it again.
Steven Spielberg also said that...
we should really talk about this in the Steven
There's no
Spielberg
CGI
episode.
in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And that was a lie.
Yeah. Anyways.
But we'll get on to bashing Steven Spielberg more in upcoming episode.
One thing is, a lot of people... This is going back to Captain Marvel. I had a lot of people like, oh, Captain Marvel doesn't look interesting because the trailers just didn't interest me. I was like, how was that trailer different than any other Marvel trailer? I would objectively say that it's more exciting than the Endgame trailer was.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I didn't want an Endgame trailer. I want to just go into Endgame.
That could be why the Endgame trailer kind of was like that, because it didn't show
I think they're not wanting to show a lot.
Going to.
Because this one's big.
Well, yeah, and because no one knows what the fuck is going to happen at this point, because they're so far off the normal track that the comic book guys know that anything could happen. I still think, okay, let's put out some theories that we didn't get around to saying before. I want so much for Sword Hawkeye to be real Hawkeye, and Hawkeye we know has been a Skrull the entire time.
Ouch.
Because
I want Hawkeye
Why would Hawkeye
be deaf.
Skrull?
I don't fucking know. I didn't say it was a good theory. I just think that would be fun, because it would be like, oh, he did get snapped, and this angry Hawkeye isn't angry because his family died. He's angry because he's been hiding away because real fake Hawkeye has been doing this shit.
Does your theory imply that his family's still alive?
My theory implies that it doesn't fucking matter because it's not the real Hawkeye.
I don't support this.
No, I mean, my theory supports that his family could live or die and we'll still never have to see them again.
Poor Velma.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for marrying a Skrull.
Ruh-roh.
Because someone's got to be a Skrull, right? Are they gonna?
I don't know.
Is this gonna play?
Have to be.
It
What
seems
about
weird. It
Ant-Man?
seems weird for Captain Marvel to be a movie right before Endgame if they're not going to throw the Skrulls in. And it's also really weird for them to throw the Skrulls in all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're introducing the Skrulls specifically for Endgame. I mean, they're introducing the Skrulls in Captain Marvel because that's
a
like
pretty
her
big
main.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't want the Skrulls to be in Endgame, Captain Marvel easily just could have come out after Endgame.
Well, but they're doing Captain Marvel for Endgame because Captain Marvel is going to be in Endgame.
Yeah, but
and they want a good introductory to her because they don't want to end up like Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but I'm saying
Where it's like, here's a character, has no backstory, but you'll get that later.
they easily could have just had her not be in Endgame and then done it after. And it
Well,
would have made no difference.
the reason
but
she's in
supposed
Endgame,
to
my
save the
theory,
end game.
My theory, her role in
You can't see the look I gave you, but
is that
I could
you can see the look I gave you, but they can't see the look I gave you.
the reason she's in Endgame is I think because she's so powerful, and because there's a rumor that her powers come from the Tesseract.
Oh.
And that because she's so powerful, she can harness the abilities of the stones. They're going to use her.
She's Kree.
Yeah, but they're going to use her to travel through time, not to steal the Infinity Stones, but to absorb their power and create their own gauntlet using her.
I think she should walk
That's
up to
lame.
Thanos and be like, I'm ending this game and I'm not stopping at the save point.
But it also,
And then beat him.
Hawkeye being a Skrull would also explain why they just decided that now, for whatever reason, decide to use different Hawkeye, other than it being the last time they're going to use him. It could be why old Hawkeye never got used, because he wasn't
I
real.
don't think that any of the characters we've seen so far will end up being Skrulls. So...
But what if they are, and they're using this as their opportunity? Because
if anything, I feel like if anyone ends up being a Skrull, it's probably going to be Ross
Thanos.
or Nick Fury.
Ross probably, Nick Fury maybe. He didn't actually survive. He really did die.
That would hurt.
I'm gonna support my theory until it's not true, and then I'm gonna complain about it not being true, even though it has no merit whatsoever, and it's not based on facts in any way.
Another theory
I just think it'd be fun.
With the what happens in Infinity War with the snap. I feel like we're moving towards Secret Invasion, and it's going to be like the Skrulls are mimicking people that got snapped to infiltrate certain things across the universe, but we're not going to see any of that until later.
Oh, so new Hawkeye could be the Skrull instead. That's not as fun.
Maybe. It depends on how important Hawkeye is to them, I guess.
Apparently, Hawkeye's not important at all, because he's like by far one of the most fun characters, and they'd have jack shit with him.
I mean,
the first time he showed up,
shoot a bow and arrow, so Hawkeye's not that cool.
The first time Hawkeye showed up,
arrow.
Did you even see his face the first time he showed up?
He was in Thor, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but so he was like, hey, I'm gonna blah, 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 yeah, and that was it. I was like, what a
for
waste.
like 4 seconds. Like,
what a waste of a character. When Black Widow was introduced, she was half the goddamn movie.
yeah, it's like, I don't even think they said his name in Thor.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't think so. They just said,
Because I want
to be fair, Iron Man 2 was made up as they went along.
Yeah, so, yeah, well, I don't know.
Hawk Boy.
Hawkeye needs more attention, and now he's all angry and doesn't even have his bow anymore.
Angsty
He's gonna
boy.
get wrecked.
Get wrecked, son.
I think they're all gonna die, except for Thor, and it's either gonna be Thor and Black Widow, or it's going to be Tony and Black Widow.
Oh, Tony's dying.
I don't know. Part of me thinks maybe, part of me thinks not.
I don't see Tony staying long.
If Tony dying means that I won't have to look at Pepper Potts anymore.
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow said she's not doing any more of the movies.
She said that already, and she still came back.
I don't remember.
I trust nothing.
Well, that was after Iron Man 3, where she didn't know she would be coming back.
Yeah.
Is your thing falling over? You need to fix the bottom bit.
Yeah, you have it set too low.
Well, that...
Jesus
Jesus Christ.
Didn't fixed it.
He just curbs
that was after Iron Man 3, and she wasn't expecting to be back in any way.
Even though they just gave her superpowers.
And well, they immediately
You can
took
die
those
with
away.
superpowers.
Huh?
You can die with superpowers.
I'm just saying, it seemed like a waste.
I mean, probably.
But
Whatever.
I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. No, but I either see Tony dying or Tony retiring. And I feel like retiring is probably what they're going to end up doing if they don't kill him.
Oddly enough, I just don't see Tony ending happily.
I feel like if they do give anyone a happy ending, it's going to be Tony, because I feel like he's the one that deserves it the most.
Well, yeah, but it'll probably be a happy ending where he dies.
I feel like Cap dying is the only happy ending Cap can have.
Oh my god.
Because like with Tony, at least Tony has something else. He has Pepper and the potential start of a family and whatnot. Cap has nothing.
Didn't he die in the comics by like it going his
serum went wrong
and he starts growing old?
Yeah, and he like aged really, really fast.
I could see that being a byproduct of them using the stones.
Maybe that's how Thanos kills him. He ages him.
He grows him.
Oh, that would hurt.
He old grows him. Yeah.
That would, I don't know. I feel that would hurt more than just him like dying.
Does that mean Bucky's going to stay alive and Captain America's going to die?
Maybe.
Or Bucky's going to die too, and Captain and Bucky and
I don't know. They're doing
I feel Bucky's gonna stay.
Yeah, because they've already confirmed that
Captain
they're doing
Bucky
a
and
Falcon
Agent Carter are
Winter
just gonna have a
Soldier
big old threesome in
series for
heaven.
Disney Plus. So
Nice. More and more, I may end up giving Disney my money, and I don't want to.
I have no problem with Disney.
Oh.
I mean, I do, but not for
I
this.
just don't want to buy another streaming service.
If you have Hulu, you can just get it as an add-on for Hulu.
Yeah, I know. I do have Hulu, but their player is like the worst out of the 3 I own. No offense, Hulu, sponsor us.
Me and my sister share. I pay for half and she pays for half.
The way that the Hulu streaming player works is it has one set resolution. You can't change it.
Oh, well.
And so if your internet sucks like mine, then some days it'll play fine, and then some days it has to sit there and load. And I can't drop down.
Is it like that in the computer version? Mm-hmm. Because I can do that on my phone. On Hulu, I can change the resolution.
You can't do it. I've tried. I looked up trying to do it, and I can't. My TV, I can't change the resolution. I used to, but they recently updated, and you can't.
I know that Amazon Prime I hate because their user interface is so garbage that I stop trying to look for things and just leave.
Oh yeah,
it's
their
better
user
on TV.
I don't like that.
I have it as I have it on my Xbox.
I'm talking about the TV. It's like non-existent on
the
my
Xbox interface works really well.
I hate it because my video library is one long line, and I just have to scroll the whole thing, and there's no way to organize it.
That would be a good thing to add to streaming services. Like you can add it to a list, and you can set which list you're adding it to. Like I want to watch.
It's like I feel there's a way I can do that on Amazon, but I can't do it from my TV.
Oh well.
Anyways,
anything else we want to talk about in this one? I think we're good.
Yeah, I think so. I think we got everything.
So we talk about Battle Angel Alita. Go see that. Brie Larson sucks apparently. According to the world.
Marvel.
Did we want to talk about Spielberg in this one or the next one?
No, it's going to be in the next one.
Okay.
So,
cool,
if you've
or the one after
seen
that.
Alita, or if you saw Captain Marvel, or if you're about to go see Captain Marvel.
There's no way I can get this out before Captain Marvel comes out.
Well, I mean, some people may not see it. Some people are going to wait. So message us. Tell us what you think of the movies, or, whether you've seen it or not. And tell us what you think of us. You can email us at nerdlykingdom@gmail.com. Get us on Twitter at _nerddom. Hit us up on our Instagram at @nerdlykingdom, or on Facebook at that same name, but no one uses Facebook anymore.
I need
Sponsor
like a Street Fighter character.
The way you're moving your arms.
I could just...
I gotta record you doing that so I can throw it in the arcade modes, because me doing the arcade mode sounds sad and pathetic. It's not good.
I would love to get one.
I was like, yeah, so if you want to tell us how much you hate us, just email us at the Nerdly Kingdom I forgot what our email was last time.
I'll happily do that. I love recording stuff.
Forgot what and then the next time.
This is so much fun, and I don't know why.
And then the next time I said, go to nerdlykingdom@gmail.com. Well, no, don't go to that.com. I don't know what that would do.
I think it opens up an email for you to be able to send an email.
I've never tried. Anyways, gonna wrap this up, and this thing that's split into 2 parts because I don't know how to work our equipment.
Goodbye.
See you later.
How do I stop this thing?